Hi, my name is Charles Malky, biologist and plant expert with Ivory Organics, where we grow cool plants, and we're here today with Eyal Givon, and he is going to give us a tour of his dragon fruit orchard. We're situated here in Moorpark, California on 20 acres of land, and most of it has been dedicated towards the growth of a variety, hundreds of varieties, of dragon fruit. And today we're going to get the tour, and I'm going to also teach you guys how you can get your hands on these dragon fruit plants and fruit. Eyal, thank you so very much for having us.
Thank you for coming over. It's a pleasure. And yeah, we can talk a little bit about the farm. We got the ranch about 9 years ago. We started about 7 years ago growing here. I've been playing with dragon fruits about 20 years. First plants got at the CRFG meeting about 20 years ago in the early 2000s in Orange County. And ever since, been playing with dragon fruits. And when we got the ranch, said, okay, that's about the time to get up the scale and grow dragon fruit. Dragon fruits are a great crop for Southern California, especially now with the water shortage. The same area, if we do avocados, like most of my neighbors do avocados and lemons, the same area of avocados would take about 10 times, 8 times the amount of water the dragon fruit. So that's a super plant to grow for Southern California, and it's very tasty. People love it. It's just all around great crop. However, it is very labor intensive. Most growers, commercial growers, we have to pollinate the flowers. The flowers are gorgeous, but they open only at night. The bees do not work at night. So we have to go every night and pollinate anywhere from a couple, depending on the season, to 5,500. That was our record this year. 5,500 flowers one night.
Wow. Very
Very long night. It's like no night. We went to bed like 6:30 in the morning. We grow here. We have about 5 acres of dragon fruit, and also we grow the plants. And people come from all over. We had an event last year that kind of opened the farm, an educational event together with Richard Lee from Grafting Dragon Fruit, and we had 50 spots. Due to COVID, we had to limit it, and it was gone. They opened the registration, I think 6 p.m. on a Friday. Within minutes, all 50 spots plus another 10 spots were filled. And there was a guy that flew in from Texas. People came from San Francisco, San Diego, and all over California.
Dragon fruit have definitely become a very exciting fruit to, one, enjoy, and secondly, grow. And it is one of the easiest of fruits to grow and incorporate in the backyard orchard. Edgar Valdivia is known as one of the leading educators for several decades on dragon fruit, and Richard Lee, as he mentioned, is one of the leading educators on the YouTube platform, among other social media platforms, bringing a lot of great knowledge. But for the first time ever, we're sitting here on a dragon fruit orchard where there's really limitless quantities of fruit and plants that you can get your hands on, and we're going to address that as we get towards the end of this. But I'm really excited about hopefully trying some of these dragon fruit and sharing the diversity of dragon fruit, because most people that are going to the market are picking up these red, one of the most beautiful looking fruits, and then going to eat it and sometimes getting disappointed. And I'm hoping that today you can share with the viewers that dragon fruit really have a very diverse palette of tastes and textures and colors, as I have grown to experience over the last decade. And I'm hoping today for those viewers that you can share just the variety of dragon fruit that are grown here behind us.
Absolutely, and I want to emphasize the difference. The problem with dragon fruits, most of them, at least in this country, comes from overseas, from Vietnam. Ecuador is now getting in. In order to get dragon fruit to market, they have to pick them early. Now, dragon fruits are non-climateric fruits, meaning when you pick them, that's it. They're not gonna get, or maybe a tiny bit, but generally they're not gonna get sweeter. It's not like avocados or cherimoyas or peaches. Even when you pick them, they're not ripe. I mean, they're ripe to pick, but they're not ready to eat. So you or bananas, you need to take some time for them to ripen, to get softer and ready to eat. Dragon fruit, you pick them, they're pretty much ready to eat. If you pick them too early, it's gonna taste like store-bought tomatoes that were picked very green and then gassed to be red. They just taste like nothing. The same thing with dragon fruit. Stuff that comes from Vietnam, it's pretty much doesn't have much flavor. It doesn't have any flavor. It's like almost like eating styrofoam. So it's not. It's gorgeous. It's pretty, but the flavor is not there. Now, dragon fruit, they are picked at their peak, which give them less shelf life, but the taste is amazing.
That's great. Well, let's go in the orchard. It's approaching noon now here in the middle of summer. Some beautiful color flowers, even if you don't enjoy the fruit. It's just such an ornamental, beautiful plant to have on your property, with colors ranging from white to red to purple and all the variations in between. I've seen some blended colors as well between the flowers.
Correct, and also they're very fragrant. So it's amazing at night when you go out. You have several thousand flowers. The fragrance is just amazing.
That's wonderful. Well, let's go out in the orchard and sample and share some of the delicious fruits that are growing here in Moorpark, California.
Okay, so here we have one of the varieties that we grow, one of the favorite varieties. It's called Laverne Red, and this variety, it's beautiful. It's actually, I think, one of the most beautiful looking fruits that we have. The taste is great, and we're gonna open it and taste it later on. And with the Laverne Red, the fruits can get huge. These ones are considered small for Laverne Red. The fruits last year we got up to 3 pounds. That's a huge fruit. So, and they go into 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 2.5 pounds. Also, Alec Schulman grows Laverne, and the story about Alec is that he had the plant for, I don't know, 10, 15 years, and I think never had fruits or had very few. And then he was looking for pollen, and we actually give pollen for free. So people that buy, or you don't have to buy anything for us, you just can call us and say, okay, can I get a little bit of pollen? We got plenty of pollen with the thousands of flowers, so we give pollen away. So he came, got some pollen, and all of a sudden he was getting tons of fruits, and he just got deep into growing dragon fruits. And now he has his whole own small mini orchard that he has.
I'm glad you mentioned our friend Alec. His YouTube channel, where he talks a lot about dragon fruit as well, is Nature with Alec. The link to that here on the screen, as well as you can click on his YouTube channel, will be in the video description below.
So here we got Laverne Red ready to pick. And the way we pick it, we actually use bent clippers that I think they usually use for grapes. So we can go behind the fruit and just cut it very close to the fruit, but you don't want to damage the fruit. If you damage the plant, no big deal, they'll regrow. But if you damage the fruit, then it's gone. So this is a beautiful Laverne Red. It's ready to go, it's ready to eat. It does not have as much shelf life as the fruits that are picked green and coming from Vietnam, but the flavor is there.
So as we're walking down the trail, I mentioned to you some of the fruit that are coming out of Vietnam or Mexico or wherever else they're grown. Are they picking the fruit this red?
No, they're picking the fruit. If we look at the green here, they pick this. They would pick a long time ago. They wouldn't pick it as green, but you could see the size. Actually, if you look at this Laverne, you can see the size here of the fruit. It's picked when it's kind of just turning color, and we have an issue. We need to start picking maybe a little bit sooner. So that's what the vendors that we sell to want, because they want more shelf life. But it's kind of hard because we have the, then the flavor, we don't have the sweetness. But this is okay. We have some green. It's okay.
So sweetness now. If we cut and eat both of them, will they taste the same now?
This will be sweeter. This will have higher bricks than this.
And the ones again that are coming out of Mexico or Vietnam.
Oh, they're much lighter. I mean, the whole fruit would probably be like this color when they pick it.
So by the time it gets to the market, and let's say it starts turning red over
It
the
will
course of
look
the
like
next
this.
few weeks, but will the flavor still being picked 3 weeks ago ever catch up
No.
to being
The
picked
flavor-
this ripe off
in
the
most, In most dragon fruit, flavor would not change. These are non-climateric fruits. So flavor, when you pick it, you're done. That's pretty much, it's kind of, I think, apples are pretty much, I'm not 100% sure, but I think apples, if you pick it too early, it's just not going to have the flavor. It's going to be kind of tart and unripe.
So I know there's growers that also want to grow dragon fruit in temperatures that are even hotter than this. We're competing today with a day that's going to be over 105 degrees, and it's going to be like 10 days of this, if not more. But again, there's growers a little bit further north where it gets even hotter, and either further east as well, that want to grow dragon fruit. So what are the challenges with growing dragon fruit in hotter temperatures that are not as tropical?
Okay, so over here, as you can see, it's wide open. We don't have any cover. We're lucky that we don't have to have cover, but we do get sunburn. Right here, we have a good example of sunburn. That's especially with the vertical branches. Days like this, where we're gonna hit triple digits, they get burned. And if we have small buds or fruits, they can get burned.
Now, thanks for sharing all of those helpful tips on weather extremes and how that affects your dragon fruit. Just looking behind me, I can almost see that almost every other plant, alternates between being very green and some are turning yellow. Again, I'm assuming since here we are in the middle of summer, going now into September, that's all heat stress is the ones that are fading a little bit. And I know you're relatively new to the Ivory Organics brand, and I've left you with some product today that will help curb these weather extremes. Every pint-sized can be diluted to make up to 5 gallons of a foliar spray. I'd like you to experiment. You can maybe navigate it towards the stem and keep it off the fruit. But I know you can also apply the product even over the fruit as well. The product dries on porous, allowing the exchange of nutrients and moisture. So you can also foliar feed if you're also using in your foliar feed application on your plants. But that'll help hopefully cool off your plants during these hottest days so they can continue performing at their best.
We'll try that.
So here we are now with some of the finest taste buds in Southern California. We're here with Edgar Valdivia, the leading educator in the modern era on dragon fruit. For several decades, he's been bringing dragon fruit education, and now it's a very popular fruit in many grocery stores around the world. Paul Talley, California Rare Fruit Growers member, and obviously here with Eyal, and we're going to be sampling some of the best tasting dragon fruit. I know Edgar has something he wants to share with us.
Yes. What I want to say, first of all, I want to admire my wonderful friend Eyal, Givon, and he started this wonderful project 4 years ago. This ranch used to be a hill, and he started working very hard, and now he's one of the best ranch here in California. He has almost 5 acres and produces a lot of wonderful fruit like you see in here. And now is the time for you guys to come and purchase this wonderful product that Eyal has made available for all the Californians.
This place is fantastic. Anybody that come by and do a tour, I mean, there's always just tonnage of dragon fruit here. And just standing where I am right here, if you look out there, there's nothing but dragon fruit orchard. It's so beautiful.
So beautiful.
And you can come here specifically if you're planning to grow this, so you can taste the varieties that you're going to grow. Okay, so and then you'll know when the plants are sold to you, you'll know that okay, I need this plant that will pollinate this plant, and what a good arrangement would be for, like, say, a grouping of 3 or 4, or if you want to grow 20 of them. So yeah, and Eyal has tastings up here where you can come up and you can taste the stuff and purchase plants and cuttings and fruit.
Obviously the fruits.
Yeah.
And yes, actually it's a great idea if someone wants to grow dragon fruits to taste it first, because there are some varieties that look great, gorgeous flowers, but terrible taste. I'll give you an example. El Grullo. It's and maybe some, okay, I'll take it back. Maybe some people like it, But for me, it's just no. I wouldn't. We have some to grow because we want the variety, but that's not something that I would choose for a home garden. If space is a premium, just grow the good tasting ones. And we have some really good varieties here that we're gonna taste here. So the fruits that we have here, we chill them, then that's the best, especially on a day like this, but pretty much any summer day, that's the season, they're great from the refrigerator. And you can eat it like that fresh, or you can make drinks from it, and they're full of antioxidants, especially the varieties we grow here that have the magenta color, full of antioxidants, full of vitamins, minerals. These are really, if anybody want to research online, these are considered superfoods, and they're also tasty. Because some superfoods, like we have neighbors here that grow moringa, it's a superfood, but you got to cook it. You cannot just eat the leaves or even the pods. But this, you take it straight out of the fridge, cut it, and enjoy it. So, cut. So we can see some colors here. And we have this lighter magenta. We have, this is Haley's Comet. We have a darker magenta, slightly darker, is American Beauty. And we have this one. It's also somewhat lighter. Physical Graffiti has a little bit more of a tart note. And we have here a fruit that is a newer variety, Asunta 5, that it did not come from the refrigerator right now. This is freshly cut. We can see the beautiful flowers of the Asunta 5, and that's Edgar's creation. So he's responsible for all the Asunta line, from 1 to 6, and now 7 is on the way. And also some other red color varieties, like Edgar's Babies have some red variation. So the flowers are gorgeous, and we'll cut to see how the fruit look. I think it's a little bit darker, more on the red side, but let's cut this one up also. And it's very different. You could see how it's more elongated. And you see the color.
Yeah,
it's darker.
Wow.
The color is darker on this one. And we have another one here that is Voodoo Child. And it's going to be also a lighter color, very unique flavor, very sweet, with some kind of a fragrant flavor, kind of a more of a exotic than the other ones. Very sweet, very good. The only problem with this one is that the fruits are always small. Can get from a quarter pound to maybe half a pound. I think we passed slightly half a pound, the largest fruit ever. So it's smaller, but if the birds know anything, these are the first fruits that they go after. So we hardly get any fruits on the Voodoo Child and the Sugar Dragon, because the birds just go first. The fruit they would go after would be Sugar Dragon and Voodoo Child, which are very similar. And also we have in this line Pink Panther, that I think it's also Edgar's creation, right?
Yes.
So small fruit packed with flavor, but small. And these ones are large. These ones actually medium size, and we have larger versions of that. You can see the Laverne Red that we don't have here, a big one. Oh, actually we do have in the fridge. These guys can go up to 3 pounds. Last year we had several that were 3 pounds, between 2 and 3 pounds, and up to 3 pounds. This is about 1.25 pounds. So these are big fruits, same thing, full of flavor. We can cut one here and we can see how they look. These are, you could see the vibrant color. I mean, people ask me, what did you add? What did you add to the fruit? And this is nothing. This you just saw. I just cut it. There's nothing added. That's how they come naturally. They're gorgeous, vibrant. You put something like this in a fruit salad or in a drink, and it's amazing.
Very nice. I've got a few questions for you. One, which one is the sweetest? And I know sometimes sweetest doesn't mean tastiest. Which one is the tastiest? Just different flavors we can expect as we begin the taste testing.
Okay, we can talk a little bit about flavor. And the good thing that you brought the issue, because a lot of people come here and they want the sweetest variety. And what I tell people is this: if I give you a glass of sugar water and I give you a glass of orange juice, we know which one is going to be sweeter and we know, at least most of us, which one is going to be tastier. So that's my answer. The thing is the balance between tartness, acidity, and sweetness, and then it's subjective. Some people tend to like more on the a little bit tartar. So if something is sweet, it's like too sweet for them. Some people don't want any tartness. They want just pure sugar. They want sweet. So it's very subjective. For me, I like a balance. So first, like Halley's Comet, even physical graffiti that is more on the tartar area, it tastes very refreshing. Whereas something like American Beauty is great, is sweet, but sometimes it can be a little bit too sweet. And the same goes with the yellow ones that people are going for, the Palora. They're super sweet, very, very sweet, but they don't have a lot of tartness to them. So to a lot of people, they're just sweet, but something is missing. The acidity is missing. Another example is when I was in India and we would go to street stand and buy sugarcane juice. You don't drink the sugarcane juice as is because it's just sweet, nothing. But if they add a little bit of lemon into the sugarcane juice and they add sometimes a little bit of ginger, then it's great. It's not just sweet, it's great.
Makes a lot of sense.
So now let's do some tasting. So we're gonna cut the physical graffiti that has a lighter color flesh that has a little bit more tartness, and we can try it. So here we go. And yeah, about cutting the fruit, yeah, that's a good example because people say, how do you eat it? How do you cut it? So yeah, you can spoon it out, but it's so much easier just to use it like you eat watermelon or melon. I mean, the skin just feels really easy.
And that's on all of them, huh?
Yes, that's on every
They
single
peel
one.
really easily. So this physical graffiti, when mine, I seem to get at least twice as many fruit off of it as the others.
It's extremely productive.
Sometimes 3.
One of the trait of physical graffiti is very, very productive. But the fruit is not as gorgeous, as pretty as the Laverne. That's pretty
A
good.
good flavor.
Very
good
good.
flavor, and especially when it's cold, tastes excellent.
And if you're going to start growing these, I think physical graffiti would be probably the #1.
It would be great. However, one issue with physical graffiti, it's self-sterile.
Yes.
So-
but it handles cold and it
Correct.
handles heat. Okay, so for a wide mass across Southern California, if they have those issues and they think they'd be affected as far as growing dragon fruit, I believe the university came up with Halley's Comet and
Yes.
physical graffiti
The best
as the best two
Correct.
to grow in
Production.
marginal.
Yeah.
Well, the physical for graffiti for production, but both of them for heat and cold resistance.
And there's at least one ranch that I know they grow only physical graffiti plus some other variety just for pollination. And at times
Right.
they'll come to me because they don't have enough pollen from the other
Yeah.
varieties. They'll grab pollen from me. And basically the issue of pollen, I tell both homeowners, home growers, backyard growers, and even commercial growers, I don't sell pollen. I just give it away. So if they need to come and remember one of the works has come and said, you can collect as much pollen as you want, use this block because I'm not collecting for everything, or I just give them pollen. So within the dragon fruit, even the commercial dragon fruit grower community, there's a lot of cooperation. When we have issues, we call each other. So back to the fruits. So we have Halley's Comet here, and we can taste it. And this should be a little bit sweeter, even though it changes from fruit to fruit. So sometimes you don't get this huge difference, but a little bit sweeter than the physical graffiti, but not by much. Actually, I think that the physical graffiti tasted better because it had more acidity.
Agreed.
So, but it's very personal choice.
Yeah, well, not only that, but it's each fruit that you pick could
Correct. It can be, depending how you pick it. Like we can see here for the American Beauty, I think this side is a little bit on the riper side, so it might lose its acidity, but let's try it.
So I'm gonna go for left side because
Sure.
I'm going for the acid.
Go for it. And we can take both left sides because we have another half here.
For those that like acid, I know for me, I'm drawn to the acidity in fruit.
All right.
And which one is this?
This is American Beauty.
American Beauty.
So it should be a little bit sweeter.
This one here usually is the one.
This one is awesome.
But you know, we do have the acidity. Even in the little bit riper, it does have the balance. So
But it's just a really good tasting fruit.
It is.
I can eat 100 of these.
Okay.
So for me, when it comes to a fruit, I'm always trying to taste something that's sweet. I love sweeter the better. But if it lacks acidity, it's not a good fruit in general.
you got to balance
Yeah.
This was just a really good
Okay.
tasting fruit.
it. Now we just got the Laverne, which is kind of in between. It's a little bit has a little bit more water content, so it's a little bit more juicy. But let's go and try it.
Here we go.
And that's one of the Lavernes.
Thank you. And this is one of those that can be a monster. What'd you have?
Yes.
A 4-pounder or something?
A 3-pounder, that was my record, and I've seen people post slightly over 3 pounds.
Wow.
But the flavor is also very good.
Oh yeah.
Good fruit.
So, let's dig into the Voodoo Child.
This is
So-
Voodoo Child.
Small fruit,
Okay.
but it has
This
a
one's
more
supposed
unique,
to be good.
Thank you.
flavor.
Yeah,
Just the one you crossed
Very
with?
sweet.
It'd be very,
Very
sweet,
sweet.
but also it had kind of an interesting flavor, different. Like more like almost like aromatic flavor. This one has a little bit more tartness. This is super ripe, so if it would be a bit less ripe, it had more acid, it would be even better.
Right.
I agree. The great thing about the Asunta dragon fruits is that it's named after Edgar's mother.
Yes, yes.
Correct.
My
So-
mother's name was Asunta, and that's why I put the name to all the dragon fruit that has a red flower. So Asunta 1, Asunta 2, Asunta 3, Asunta 4, Asunta 5, Asunta 6 has a red flower. But not only red flower, the flowers they come with white too,
Yes.
and variegated. Like you see, it's a beautiful flower. The only problem is they come in nighttime only. All the dragon fruit flowers they open at 8 o'clock in the night and close at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So too many people they cannot enjoy this beauty. And
You got to be awake
Oh,
at
yeah.
night and pollinate.
It's nothing like going out
And-
at 2 o'clock in the morning, huh?
yeah, you know, I was doing this as a hobby. I love to be busy in my garden. Keeps me active. You know, I retired a long time ago, so I choose my hobby to be horticulture, and I dedicate myself to different type of fruits, not only the dragon fruit, but I put a lot of time in dragon fruit, and I'm glad nowadays dragon fruit is becoming very popular all over the world. So be careful when you go into the dragon fruit as a hobby, as a backyard hobby. It's great because but if you want to make money, think it over very clear what you want to do with your production.
And I agree with Edgar. Just one more thing saying, anybody who wants to go into farming, there are much easier ways to lose money. So,
Very well said. As Eyal also mentioned, Edgar's got a lot of children out there from his dragon fruit experimentation that he shared with growers around the world. How many, like, I know you've got certain varieties that are actually commercially grown, right, Edgar?
Yes.
Like, what are some of the names, the popular names that you've got?
Max.
I have example as a plant commercially grow. They do in the Edgar's baby. They sold worldwide, and then now they trying to go. Mostly in Latin America, they going from these pink flowers because in Latin America they used to grow in Colombia, in Ecuador, and Peru. Mostly the yellow dragon fruit that is very sweet, but the problem with that fruit is has a lot of thorns. And then you know the production you get from that particular plant takes from bottom to be a fruit. In the yellow time you need 7 months, and in this particular dragon fruit, the red skin, you only need 2 months. So it's more production in this one. That's why in Latin America they now start switching to this particular type of dragon because give you more fruit. But the problem is, like I say, they start flooding the market. And now before in Asia was only white dragon fruit pulp, and that was good. And now they realize, hey, people like the orange, the magenta color, and they're sweet. So and now they producing sweet, and those fruits they are in the market and now from Asia. So it's a big competition and now. But it become very popular, you know. I'm glad that people say enjoy it, but the problem is it's a lot of hard work because you have to do hand pollination nighttime, remember. There's no bees that they do pollination.
And I want to over what Edgar said regarding farming of dragon fruit. So we, not myself, but any grower in California, all the California growers, we cannot compete in price with imports from Asia, from Central America. We can compete on flavor any day of the week. We can compete on flavor because we can pick it much riper. We can pick it when it's ready. We don't have to pick it way early, but we cannot compete on price. So it's quality versus price. Anybody can make their own choice.
For sure. So I'd like to thank you again, Paul, for bringing us all together. Paul Talley, California Rare Fruit Growers. A plug for California Rare Fruit Growers if you haven't joined. Regardless of if you're in California or anywhere else around in the world, you get to network and meet a lot of the California Rare Fruit Growers. And again, they're members around the world. Paul Talley, thanks again for bringing us to the legend, Edgar Valdivia, as well as Eyal, and introducing us to the dragon fruit orchard, and looking forward to bringing more education from Moorpark, California. Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay.
So there's several crates here now that have been picked this morning alone, and I want to share with the audience, how do people get their hands on fresh dragon fruit from Eyal's orchard?
Okay, we sell at different channels. We're not big enough to supply like big chains like Vaughn's, Albertsons. It's actually the same chain now. But what we do, we sell people. A lot of people know us, so they come here to get the fruits, and they can come from next door, Simi Valley or Oxnard, or they come all the way from San Francisco, Sacramento, driving just to get the fruits. Or we sell at the farmers market. This year we're participating in the Irvine Saturday Farmers Market, so that's another place. And we also do shipping, and we basically sell it off of Facebook. People can contact us. We have a Facebook page for Dragon Fruit Farm Moorpark. Eventually we'll have a website, probably not before the season ends. It's just too crazy now with picking, and we have to constantly keep picking. As we saw before in the video, we have fruits that are ready to pick. We have some fruits that we didn't get to, so unfortunately they're past their prime, so goats are going to have fun. And we have fruits that are green. With this coming heat wave, we'll probably get the green fruit turning much quicker, so we need to get ready to expect fruits are turning quicker now. With this coming week, there's going to be triple-digit temperatures.
That's great. So all the ways of getting your hands on Eyal's dragon's fruit, where they're vine, ripe, fresh fruit with maximum flavor, the best experience you're going to have in dragon fruit. I'm going to share all of those links in the video description below so that you can get the best opportunity to get your hands on the best dragon fruit. Thanks again so much for having us. If you've enjoyed this lesson brought to you by Ivory Organics, be sure to give us that thumbs up, share us with your gardening friends and family. Most importantly, keep growing with Ivory Organics, and wishing you all happy gardening.
Bye, and see you at the farmers market, or contact me if you would like to get any boxes shipped anywhere in the U.S. Maybe with the exception of Hawaii, not sure about that, but we ship to Florida, we ship to New York, and of course we ship closer here to LA, San Jose, San Francisco, Arizona, wherever.
Awesome. Thanks again for this awesome opportunity, Eyal. Take care.